Welcome to the broadcast, everyone, and welcome to Colonial Conference action here on this Wednesday afternoon. Still a little overcast here in the Audubon Green Wave complex, but we have the 12-0-1 Sterling Silver Knights facing off against the 8-6 Audubon Green Wave. There's a little caveat to what we're seeing between these records. Audubon may be 8-6, but they're 0-6 inside of their own division. All 8 of their wins have either been out of their division and in the conference, in the Colonial Conference, or out of the conference altogether, like against Princeton earlier this year. However, for Audubon, 4 of those wins are against interconference teams, and 4 of those wins are against out-of-conference teams. While Sterling, they've been on a roll. They've been knighted, if you will, as an undefeated team with only one tie holding them down. There's one other team that's undefeated in Colonial Conference action, and that is the West Deptford Eagles. But we don't see them until later on in this month of October. But we're playing Sterling today. Nice, decent weather this afternoon, probably around 70 degrees. I'm Dan Wilkins of Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. And, well, we have our second run here at Colonial Conference Soccer, at least with you and me on this YouTube broadcast. But we hope you enjoyed today's festivities, as it's Sterling and Audubon coming up next. Remember, Sterling is 12-0-1. Just one tie is preventing them from having a perfect undefeated season so far, but still no losses on the column. And even though I do attend Audubon High School, I think it's pretty peril for me to say that, you know, with Audubon being winless in their own division and also 8-6 overall, it's kind of how stacked the Colonial Conference is, especially in the Liberty Division. You see this in other sports as well, along with soccer, but I think it's really important to note the fact that Audubon may be a good team, but none of their wins have come from inside the division because everybody else just has better records. They have better squads. Audubon may have a above 500 record, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be at the top of the game when this one concludes. You know, think of it in baseball terms with the American League East. The Tampa Bay Rays, Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees, they're all great teams. The Toronto Blue Jays won 91 games, but they still missed the playoffs. That's how stacked the AL East was, and that's how stacked the Colonial Conference Liberty Division is. It's just too good, almost too good to be true, you know, with how these teams are playing. Because not everyone plays everyone, you know, and not everyone plays their games in their conference. There's a lot of out-of-conference matches, especially in the beginning of the year, just like with college basketball and college football. And I think that's one thing to consider. But Audubon and Sterling, as the sun is finally starting to poke out here at the Green Wave field, just a few minutes until the first kick and until the timer will start running in these 40-minute halves. As the Green Wave captains break off their team huddle and their team meet up and kind of break down a little bit. For those just joining us, you're watching coverage of the Colonial Conference Soccer here on this overcast Wednesday afternoon between the unbeaten Sterling Silver Knights and the 8-6 Audubon Green Wave as everyone meets inside their little team bubbles there for one last conference before we'll go green in this game. The senior Matthew Martin lines up next to the inaugural soccer ball used in this one at midfield. In fact, it's number 10 and number 10. That's also Tyler Wiltsey lining up closest to midfield. one of the Bandles, one of the ball assistants, has to make her way over to the Green Wave sideline. From the Green Wave Sports Complex, we are underway. Look at how fast this start is going. Damian Broadhurst going to get some deflections over here, as that one's going to go outside of the yellow boundaries, and it'll be out of bounds, deflected by the junior Jake Camardo. As Connor Bellata, who scored 2 goals back last Tuesday, misses that one on the deflection, heads it back towards Audubon's side. Number 8, Michael Ermel, takes this one and passes it to Josh Moreland. But now Cooper Bannell says, nope, that's mine. He'll pass it to his younger brother, the freshman Trent Bannell, as it goes over the middle towards the Sterling sideline. And this one is going to stay inbounds. Actually, no, it's going to roll out past the Sterling sideline. Picked up by the junior Victor John, as this one will be taken. Back on Sterling's side, closer to their goalkeeper, though, is Connor Bellata, definitely trying to take the highest man on this one. Over towards Camardo, and this one's going to be passed back to Mike Berkeley. Berkeley with Bannell. Bannell tries to do a little slide job there, doesn't get it too successfully, as it'll go out of bounds, picked up by Matthew Martin, the senior. It'll be thrown in, or actually rather kicked in from the corner by Moreland. Over to Camardo, back over to middle, and Perozzi will have to chase this one down as it goes wide left of the goal. The senior Makayo Kelly will kick this one in. Tony Giordano to the left, Cooper Bannell on the right, as this one will go over both of them and to Hayden Wiltsey, but back to Camardo. As now Trent Bannell almost tried to take charge against Justin Maroney, however. Makayo Kelly does another slide job, gets that one in. Here goes Wiltsey over to middle. This one's going to go into no man's land. Bellata couldn't get it just shy of the yellow line, yellow marker. Great speed and footwork there by Connor Bellata, just a little bit shy. Here comes the shot over the middle, back to Mike Berkeley, and it will go out towards the left corner. Good crowd here at Green Wave Park, as you can see. Lawn chairs lined up all the way along the left and right sides of me. Back to Moreland. Moreland's going to try to kick it, and Perozzi blocks it with one hand. Great save by John Perozzi, showing some height on that one, as they'll heave this one back in towards midfield. The freshman Bannell kind of having a little bit of conflict there with Kevin Martin. And now we got a whistle blown. 3 minutes in, scoreless here in Audubon, as I believe that will be Kevin Martin. No, excuse me, that's number 4, Justin Burr. The sophomore Burr passes it down to Timmy Hall, the junior. And then over to Michael Ermel, who will take this again to Justin Maroney. A lot of passing back and forth, but no real progress. The one saved by Perozzi, maybe the only shining moment. As Damian Broadhurst gets into the action, Trent Bannell takes the ball, goes over to middle, Bellata deflects it, but it will stay in Audubon's possession. Go from Tyler Wiltsey, the younger brother of Hayden the junior, back to Wiltsey, as Bellata almost went flying, but instead he stays on his feet as it'll go out of bounds and back to, looks like that might be Braden Sheehan. Hard to tell with the jersey numbers sometimes, but you make do with what you have. It'll go back to Timmy Hall and over towards Jake Camardo, as that one will roll out of bounds. Hayden Wiltsey, the junior, will throw this one in instead. Actually, no. It'll go to Broadhurst, the senior. Thought it was Wiltsey who would have it at first, but instead, Broadhurst throws it in over everybody. Bellata deflects it with his head over to Wiltsey. Bannell to Broadhurst again, who threw this one in just about 15 seconds ago. And it will go out towards the goalkeeper, the senior Alan Kultzalko. As everyone gathers near midfield for his kick, that will go way up there, over towards midfield, just past it. Josh Roselle looked like he had a shot at it, but instead it'll go back in Sterling's possession. Back and forth conflict between Martin and Broadhurst. Now over to Hayden Wiltsey. Bellata just missed that one. Got very close to it, though. As now Sterling's going to use some of their time here. Timmy Hall again. Back to Moreland. Camardo. That one's Moreland. As Hall's going to kick this one way off to the right. This one might go out of bounds. Instead, Ryan Wolak and Mike Berkeley converge as it goes out towards the right corner. Furthest corner away from our camera up here. Already a lot of back and forth action as Rossell going to try to keep this in Audubon's possession, but it does go out at the hands of Ryan Wolak. Over at the far side of your screen, Justin Maroney's going to heave this one in, as it's kind of headbutted there by Mike Berkeley off to the left as John Perozzi walks his team back out and will kick this one way up past midfield. Bellata just missed it, and it will go back in Sterling's possession. Back and forth. Button heads here. Over the middle again, Timmy Hall. Comes back down to earth with Matthew Martin converging on that one. Look at that backwards kick by Connor Bellata. Really making some highlight reels here as Josh Rossell, for the first time today, is going to have some major possession here as Wiltsey will bring this one back to Bellata, but instead Sterling will take possession again. Oh, this one's going to go everybody. This will be a battle between Berkeley and Makayo Kelly. Kelly's going to try to take it. He gets past him, and John Perozzi saves it. And how about this for some backup goalkeeping? Cooper Bannell bails out John Perozzi as he was kind of busy diving for the ball. They decided to block it themselves, kind of a three-man goalkeeper set. As this one will roll out. Tyler Wiltsey almost had that one, and instead it'll go back to Victor John. And it will be brought back into play. Let's see who throws this one in. Oh, it'll be thrown in by Audubon's Ryan Wolak, the senior. Rossell. Over to Bellata. Broadhurst. Broadhurst has this one now. Giordano coming into play. He'll come in from the backside, and he'll have a kind of a curve of a kick. Oh, some conflict, some contact between Broadhurst and Kevin Martin again, as this one will roll out of play. And a good stop by the youngest of the Wiltseys. Now with Giordano with the ball in his possession, he'll throw this one back in on a hop back to the freshman Wiltsey as the sun is finally coming out. Seems like for the first time in 3-4 days, as Hayden Wiltsey will have to watch as this one goes way up in the air at the hands of Timmy Hall. John pops it up. Tyler Wiltsey tried to converge on that one. Moreland will try to keep this one in play to no avail. Instead, it'll be thrown in by Camardo, the junior Jake Camardo, as that one will go out into the spectator area. Here comes the throw once again from Giordano as it bounces off the head of Hayden Wiltsey. Over towards his brother Tyler as it's kicked by Kevin Martin again. Over towards the far side, Wolak will watch this one go out, while Justin Maroney looks for a man to throw to. Moreland expresses that he's open, or at least some commotion between the Silver Knights players. The 11 on this field early. No stoppages in play, about 9 minutes in, as Giordano gets this one. Oh, look at this. This one will go to Wiltsey as it's bounced backwards. Almost nobody's there. Instead, Justin Burr will take it for himself. Back to Martin. And here comes back to Wiltsey. Victor John. And Broadhurst will get this one out of bounds over towards the Green Wave sideline. Here's a high kick from not Braden Sheehan, Michael Ermel, the senior. Over towards Bellata. Back towards midfield with Tyler Wiltsey being square there. And now it's saved by Timmy Hall. That one seemed like disaster for sure, but then Sterling finding a way to bring themselves back into contention in a scoreless game, as another long kick by Michael Ermel will stay in play with some good footwork by Camardo over with some parallel goal shots there, as that one will be in no man's land. However, no, this one will go out of bounds. Thought for a second that Kevin Martin would recover that one and bring it in at just about midfield, but instead he will throw it in after it rolled out near the Green Wave sideline. Oh, wow, look at that sideways kick there by Ermel as Perosi saves that one from getting anywhere close, as it's thrown in off the chest of Wiltsey, but instead, taking real initiative there is Timmy Hall, who's going to bounce, and bounce some more. Over to Hayden Wiltsey, almost fell down. Rosell will kick this one. Now taken back by Camardo. And this one will be wide left of the goal. Just past 10 minutes, about 10:45 here in the first half. You're watching Colonial Conference action between the unbeaten Sterling Silver Knights and the 8-6 Audubon Green Wave. You're watching Dan Wilkins Broadcasting exclusive coverage of today's game. Over to middle. This one will be at midfield, where it's taken by Maroney. Oh, look at this. Tyler Wiltsey taking some initiative. He's going to be all by himself, but instead, it'll be taken back by Burr. He's going to try to stay in this battle. Going to go back to Rosell. Bannell calls for him, but instead he falls down. He does a 360, goes all around. Broadhurst brings it back actually into Sterling possession again, as Wiltsey bounces it right off of Kevin Martin's left shoulder. Here comes the kick, as now Sterling with their backs against the wall. They save this one from being a goal, as Audubon has gotten the closest they've been all day to scoring. And Connor Bellata was right when he said, you know, Sterling may be unbeaten, and we might not win all the time against these guys, but we can play against them. And that's what he said after the first exclusive broadcast. That was against Gloucester, where I know some Gloucester fans were watching, but obviously it was a bit surprising when Audubon had their entire junior varsity team in. A lot of freshmen, some sophomores. It was probably more freshmen than sophomores, but barely any upperclassmen, if anything. A lot of people that I know, very personally, is Makai O'Kelly will bounce this one out of bounds towards the chain link fence on the far side of the field. But Gloucester couldn't score a single goal, not just against a varsity squad, but against a junior varsity squad, and Gloucester didn't have any JV guys in there. This one is going to be... that's in there. So Sterling gets on the board first, and it comes with 12 minutes in this one. 12:44, Sterling on the board, 1-0, Silver Knights.
All right, guys, let's get it right back. Come on.
I mean, that was kind of a ricochet and a half. It was over towards the... it was, kind of parallel kicked on the side of the goal, and Perosi kind of had his hands full and couldn't get anywhere with that. So we'll wait about 4 seconds to run off the clock again. 12:44 here in the first half. Sterling up top, 1-0, and I think that kind of footwork and that kind of cooperation on their team shows why they are 12-0-1. And this is coming from a guy who works for, and works on behalf of the Audubon High School. All right, clock will run again. Some back and forth action. Martin and Rosell. Now Kevin Martin. Wonder if Matthew Martin and Kevin Martin are brothers. We've seen several instances of some twins, or even some pairs of brothers like Hayden and Tyler Wiltsey. Oh, he missed that one. He completely missed that one. I don't think that was intentional, but he dives in front of it. Look at that. What a way to rebound. Timmy Hall dives in front of the ball like he's Derek Jeter to make that play. As now it'll go off the head of Moreland. It'll go backwards. Now over towards Moreland again. He got the ball back in his possession, as Makai O'Kelly trying to stop any action from happening, and it will roll out of bounds. He'll throw this one in very quickly, within a blink of an eye, really, as it'll go out of bounds in the spectator area. Jake Camardo, the junior, will throw this one in from the corner. Leave it in with two hands, as this one's going to be bounced up in the air, and John Perosi lets this one be saved. Here comes a high kick. Dropping down well past midfield, past that blue marker on the right side of midfield, over towards us. As a strong kick there, blocked by Berkeley. And Moreland's got this one. Now he's got a little free range as it'll go through. Goal for Sterling, and then now it's 2-0. So how about that for Jake Camardo? Really taking control here, and it's... Oh, I need to reset the score. I accidentally made it 3-0. Although, knowing Sterling, that might be the case in a couple minutes. 2-0 Silver Knights as they get their second goal in 2 minutes. Instead, it's not Connor Bellata scoring for Audubon. Another goal there by Jake Camardo, the junior midfielder. As again, we'll wait 4 seconds to resume the clock. And that's exactly what we'll do. 14:39 here in the first half. 2-0 Silver Knights. Look at this. Some good kicking there and some good rebounds. Broadhurst over to Rosell. Oh, no. Rosell's not going to take that one. It'll go back into Sterling's possession off the head, off the square, off the forehead of Bannell. That'll be Cooper Bannell, as now Sterling was running 100%. Wiltsey wasn't exactly. So now Connor Bellata uses that expertise footwork that he has in his possession to really make that work. Rosell's got it again out towards midfield. And, oh, look at this. Got some good kicking going over there. Some back and forth action as now Moreland brings it over everybody. This one might make it 3-0, but it will go wide left, and Perosi will take this one. Here comes a high kick over to middle. Goes off to the right side. And this one will go back into Sterling's possession. Seems like as soon as they get anywhere close to scoring a goal, and I'm talking about the Green Wave, as soon as they get anywhere close, Sterling just gets it right back in their possession, and sometimes they score off of it too. I mean, we had no score for the first 12 minutes. Audubon was holding them to their own. Bellata tried to get that one, but instead Timmy Hall with a powerful kick could replace Jake Elliott out there, as some big contact there between the goalkeeper, Perosi. It looked like Perosi was trying to get some a tango with Mike Berkeley. He just sent them both to the ground. This one's going to be another parallel kick that will go behind the net there. Stay tuned this weekend as we'll have another edition of Road Trippin' in youth football. The Oakland Cougars will face off against the Rancocas Valley Patriots in Week 5 of West Jersey Youth Football League action. Dan Wilkins Broadcasting will be there, and we'll have all of the information. Just check out the Oakland Cougars Football and Cheerleading Facebook group in order to join and be able to watch the magic happen in the broadcasts. I'll go out of bounds as this will be thrown in presumptively by Justin Maroney, although no, he just was the messenger to pick up the ball. Instead, it'll be thrown in by Jimmy Zingaro. As this one will go off to the left as Jake Camardo seems to be the star of the show. Camardo's already got a goal today. Not sure who was officially scored on that first goal, but we can always ask our assistants on the far side of the field, Mr. Carter and Sarah Cologne, everybody along those lines. Once we get to the 40-minute mark, as Perosi takes this one. Easy catch for him, as this one will be lofted over towards midfield. Instead, a collision on Sterling's behalf. Kevin Martin brings this back. It'll go past Victor John. Instead, Trent Bannell had it for a split second and now no longer. Makayo Kelly trying to make this work. He does not. Instead, he almost had the ball there, just a bit off. And this one will be taken out of bounds. Who will throw this one in? It'll be Ryan Wolak. Wolak of the Green Wave will bring this one back to himself. to Makai O'Kelly. As here comes a strong kick over towards Wiltsey, but instead basically intercepted by Camardo. Camardo, the junior, now taking control again. Damian Broadhurst sends him into a bit of a frenzy. It's now Justin Burr with a shrieking call from one of his teammates, sends it down the right side, keeps it in play. As here comes a kickoff to the right side and brought back into play by the same man. I believe. Actually, no, I think, yeah, that's still Wolack. Honestly, on the far side of the field, it's hard to tell between Ryan Wolack, Damian Broadhurst, and Connor Bellata. When they're right up close to, or when the ball's about to hit your camera, like it was last week, that was a bit easier. This one will be kicked in at the hands of Wolack off the head of Bannell. Back into Sterling's possession. They'll bring it back towards midfield. And it will go out of bounds. Rossell brings it back to midfield. Some hard contact back and forth. You could hear the ball kind of deflecting doubly there as Perozzi brings this one back, but he might have his back against the wall. He's got to rush his way back towards the goalkeeping side as now Bannell brings this one. He's going to try to pass this one to Rossell. Oh, look at this. Wolack doing some evasive footwork there away from Matthew Martin. As now Wolack kicks this one into oblivion. 20 minutes in. You're in Colonial Conference action on this Wednesday afternoon. You're watching Sterling Silver Knights 2, Audubon Green Wave 0. Looks like we might have some substitutions going on here. Here comes the throw-in as Perozzi saves that one. A quick throw-in from Jimmy Zingaro. As here comes the heave with one hand over towards the Green Wave sideline, over towards the scorer's table. Contact between Bannell and Zingaro, the man who threw that one in about 30 seconds ago. This time, we'll see who throws it in, I believe on Audubon's behalf. It'll be thrown in by Wolack. Kicked by Rossell. Back to Wolack. As, got taken down there. Connor Bellata had some hard contact with number 12, Anthony Garcia, the sophomore. As this will be a penalty kick following Bellata going down, and it'll be basically a line drive right to Alan Kaltzalko. So Kaltzalko will booyah. There's a strong kick over the middle. Back to number 13, the junior Devin Bird. Devin Byrne, not Bird. This one will be in no man's land. It's almost some preliminary contact between number 15, Kevin Martin, and number 7, Tony Giordano. And that one will roll out. This one will be thrown in by Giordano. He's got the ball rested in his right hand. As Sterling sets their defense. Whistle is blown. Giordano will pass this one, and almost immediately out of play again. So now straight towards midfield, Damian Broadhurst will bounce this ball and throw this in. Here comes the throw right in front of us from Broadhurst. This one's kicked back and forth as it'll go to Wiltsey, just a little bit off to the right side. And now Tyler Wiltsey brings that one out. Here comes the throw, a strong one from Jimmy Zingaro, as this one's basically right in your face action. Wiltsey and that would be Josh Garcia, the junior, kind of converging there a little bit as that one's off to the left side. And John Perozzi will block that one from getting any traction. Here comes a high kick. That one's way up there from Perozzi. It'll fall back down to earth, and I don't know if that'll register a seismic eruption there, but it'll go off as this one popped up again by Timmy Hall. Bounced off of number 16. That would be Sean Brandley. It's now Braden Sheehan, well over Kevin Stubbs, the senior. Obviously, with Sterling up 2-0, they can make some substitutions and kind of mess around with their roster a little bit, kind of a polar opposite of what Audubon had going for themselves last week against Gloucester, where instead of putting in their reserves, just put in your entire JV team. There's only one JV guy that I've seen at the field today, and that's number 4 on the far end next to Casey Cameron and Matt Wagner over there, and also the backup goalie. That would be Michael Colleen, but yeah, RJ Homa, the freshman. There's already 3 freshmen on the Green Wave roster. As this one will go back to Sean Brandley. Brandley with a good kick over to middle. As that one will go over the head of Devin Byrne. As Byrne will burn that kick over to Braden Sheehan. As now some conflict there between Blaise LaFrance, the sophomore, who goes down to his knee. Sheehan again over towards the corner. Now it's taken in by Kevin Stubbs. Some double contact there, and now everybody's kind of backed up, and there's only a few men that are even out at midfield. As this one will go back. It's saved by Timmy Hall. Some good footwork there by the Sterling junior. Look at this. High kick gets past Kelly. Banel knocks it down with his head. That's Cooper. As it goes over the head of number 11, Caleb Evans. And will roll out as here comes a strong, powerful kick from Count Zalko. Giordano back over the middle again. Oh, look at this. Some back and forth action. Wiltsey. And this one will go over towards our table and over towards Sterling's cameraman. As here comes the throw in from the senior Jimmy Zingaro, who will bring this one on a bit of a deflection over to Devin Byrne. Some contact there between Broadhurst, who's going to try to take this ball for himself. Back a little bit further towards midfield. Back to Zingaro again, back past midfield as Justin Burr trips over that one. But he keeps the ball for himself. As Sterling's players, they call for Sheehan, as now it goes past Kevin Stubbs. Oh, right off the head. I think that was off of Kevin Stubbs right there. As this one over towards the backfield, I think Makaio Kelly might get this one in. It's RJ Homa, the one JV guy. He's into the game. I would assume an injured player or something of that sort is what's getting him some playing time, especially in the first half. Might be a replacement to a key player. Well, RJ Homa's already going to throw himself into the fire. Let's look at that footwork there. Timmy Hall. That man can do anything in terms of that footwork as Hayden Wiltsey kicks this one out of bounds. And you can channel your inner John Lennon as here comes the sun once more. This one will be brought back to Zingaro, who will throw it from the far side of the field over towards the yellow line. This one might be a score. Oh! 4 men converge on that one, and they all go down. It's a domino effect, but it's quite real, as John Perozzi kicks this one way up there over towards Homa and friends, and the entire Sterling defense, maybe 5 or 6 guys over past midfield, is now coming to a screeching halt. That's Rossell People say soccer's not a contact sport. Well, this is a perfect exemplification of that right there. Everybody's going down, everybody's falling down, and we saw that one Connor Bellata kind of little trip up there that caused a penalty kick for Audubon. That favored Audubon, as this one's going to be up, and it will go out of bounds as Sterling's teammates shout, "Let it ride," as this will be thrown in by Timmy Hall again. Very versatile junior there. As it'll be brought back to Sean Brandley. Brandley's going to take it again to Byrne. And now back to Evans, as we're getting closer to within 10 minutes of the first half's conclusion. And that one will go into no man's land, into another area code, as way right of the goalposts. 29 and a half minutes into the first half, as Sterling will make some substitutions. Looks like Zingaro and Evans are out, along with Braden Sheehan and Kevin Stubbs. We saw them get some limited playing time, but some of the regulars coming back in. Anthony Garcia, as well as looks like number 8, Michael Ermel, who we saw early in this first half. Kicked off by Kelly. It goes over everybody. Back square at midfield, as Ryan Clark, the senior and older brother of Sean Clark, the sophomore. And this one's back and forth. Broadhurst back to Ermel, who will kick this one back to Wiltsey. Bellata's got it. Bellata's going to take some really evasive action here and bring it back to Ermel. This one's going to get past everybody. A good battle here, as look at how far that one's kicked. Mike Berkeley brings that one out of play. Here comes a strong kick from Kelly. Over to middle. Bellata brings this one down, and I'm not touching that this time. We had one in the second half last week where I just kind of swatted it down with my right hand, but instead that one was a little off to my right. Who says I can't play defense once in a while? Justin Burr back over towards Martin. Cooper Bannell. As look at this, strong kick goes over everybody's heads. As now some convergence there, as this one will be kicked out of play by Mike Berkeley, well out of range there. This one will be kicked in again by Kelly. A strong one over the middle. Goes over Homa's head. He's not exactly a tall fella, but it'll go back to Ryan Clark, who's now going to have to get some defense on him here, as Sterling's kind of outnumbering Audubon in terms of who's where, as that one will be taken by Mikaio Kelly off the head of Hayden Wiltsey. Now Homa got a little crossed up, but instead it'll go over the head of Ryan Wolak. A little bicycle kick backwards, as it will be taken in by Robbie Toomey, the sophomore, who we haven't seen much of today, but he'll throw this one in. In fact, he'll pass it off to Maroney. Toomey, Maroney. Some good name combinations over there, as this one's going to get past the Sterling offenses. Look at this. A good defensive kick by Timmy Hall to get that one out of bounds.
That's right. He did swim for Sterling.
Here comes a strong kick over the middle. Goes right over the head of Homa. Maybe grazed something a little bit, as now Moreland brings this one back into play. A little trip up there. Broadhurst stays on his feet. Now a misdirect and some hard contact as whistles go in from everywhere. Whistles blew in from the left and the right like surround sound. as this will be a penalty kick. This one will be a good kick over towards the left. Moreland. Oh! Some contact there. Bellotta keeps it in play. Some contact, some bumping and banging between Martin and Bellotta. This one's kicked, and it will go out of play. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I got one. I had one last week. I'll get one this week. Just go down and grab it. Both times it was the right hand, because that's where I hold the microphone in the left. Dominic Giordano over towards Timmy Hall as this one's up. Rossell just missed it. He tried to get some real hops on that one. Justin Burr. As this one's well over the middle. And back to the sophomore Garcia. As some convergence there between Rossell and Wiltsey. Nobody can decide who's going to get the ball. It'll be Rossell who passes it over to Bellotta. Number 6 is going to converge with the other number 6, Bellotta and Hall, as it will go just past the yellow line and onto the gravel embankment. 5 minutes remain in the first half. Here comes the kick from Count Zalco. Over everybody. Makaio Kelly is going to bring this one back into Bannell. Over towards Wiltsey. And that one was just square off the face. He patted it down. Giordano kind of gets outmatched there by Matthew Martin. See, I'd have to imagine that Matt Martin and Kevin Martin are twins, since they're both seniors, both got the same last name. Not saying that Martin's not a common name, but I'm sure Sterling fans that might be watching this broadcast might know the answer. Giordano will throw this one in as Sterling's defense. Don't know why I said Gateway. Guess blue and white. Tyler Wiltsey brings this one back, keeps it in play. As now to go back over the middle, back towards midfield. And Robbie Toomey. Here comes Moreland back again. And that one's well over everything. As Bob Uecker used to say of the Milwaukee Brewers, he used to say, just a bit outside. That was that case right there. And I know I'm applying a lot of baseball analogies to soccer here, but can't wait for April, right? Can never come too soon. Here comes a kick over the middle. Goes over the head of Moreland. This one will be a little bit of backtrack back to the sophomore Casey Cameron. As Cooper Bannell tries to inspire his teammate Cameron, saying, wasn't your fault, don't worry about it. It was just a really weird spin on the kick. Kind of went every which way and went away from the Green Wave offense. Kind of curved in a different direction. Here comes a kick, and Perozzi blocks it. That one was off camera, my apologies, but we have some great photographers here at today's game that are covering all the action. I would assume check out NJ.com or wherever they may upload their content, as that one's, a high save by Perozzi. High flying action at that goalkeeping position as we're in the last couple of minutes of the first half before we can take a breather, take a break. 2-0 Sterling. Here we're 38 minutes into this ball game. Clark back to Wolak. Bannell back in the game, by the way, as that one goes out of bounds. He'll heave this one in over towards Wiltsey. Wiltsey and Bellotta trying to bring this one back in. And here comes a defensive short kick from Justin Maroney. As, down goes, I think that's Wolak. Wolak kind of did a barrel roll. As look at this, Rossell keeping it for himself. He passes it back to Burr, as now it's blocked by Wiltsey. That's Tyler Wiltsey, the freshman, not Hayden Wiltsey, the junior. He's back. I believe he might not even be in the game right now, as this one's going to be free range and off towards the right. They got open field, though. Perozzi's able to stop it, and wow, really putting Perozzi to the test. Not one, but two shots on goal. Both of them blocked by the senior John.
I love John too much.
As his father, who's in the audience a little bit behind me back there, he's showing his praise. As that was two blocks, two shots on goal right there. Here comes the kick. Over towards midfield, just gets blocked there by Michael Ermel. Here comes the kick over to middle. Back again towards midfield. Ermel's got it again. Broadhurst kind of makes a little deflection here as Ermel and Broadhurst converge. Now this will go to Cameron. But Cameron's just going to end up ricocheting this ball back into Sterling's possession. As this one will go out. And yep, that'll be the half. Almost right on cue, too, with our time. It wasn't 90 seconds off like it was last week. You're watching Dan Wilkins Broadcasting coverage of Colonial Conference soccer. The first half is done here in Audubon at the Green Wave Sports Complex. The Silver Knights 2, the Green Wave 0. We'll be back after the 10-minute break with another half, another 40 minutes of exciting Wednesday soccer on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Well, we're at the half here from Audubon at the Green Wave Park Complex. It is 2-0 Sterling, the Silver Knights, on top of the Green Wave. I gotta say, for a team that's 12-0-1 and undefeated, 2-0 is a lot more reasonable than something like 5-0 or 6-0. Remember, Audubon led Gloucester, I think it was either 3-0 or 4-0 at the half last Tuesday when we did our first Colonial Conference soccer stream here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. However, 2-0 is a lot more reasonable, and it proves Connor Bellata's point from last week when we had the post-game interview with Bellata. He had said that teams like Sterling and West Deptford, teams that are very good, very undefeated, and very talented, very stacked with talent from top to bottom, from freshmen to seniors, from the backfield to the strikers at the midfield. They're stacked with talent, and I think what's true about this Audubon team is that even though they're losing, even though they're down, even though they have to mount a comeback, they're not getting blown out against teams like this. They're blowing out teams, but they're not getting blown out. We've only seen that a few times this year. It's not exactly a travesty. Only 2 goals. That's something you can make up in 40 minutes. If Sterling could score it in 2 minutes, and Audubon could do that against Gloucester last week where they scored 2 goals in the first 5 minutes, it's not unprecedented. You just need Sterling's defense to slip up. You need Sterling's offense to be a little underpowered, and then Audubon takes the charge. However, for Sterling, they have to step up their game a little bit. Considering that they're 12-0-1, a 2-0 win wouldn't be satisfactory for these guys. They want to win, and they want to win by a close enough margin where, their goal differential is pretty high. If you say, we beat Audubon 2-0, well, that's Audubon. If you say we beat Gloucester 2-0, if we beat Gloucester 2-0 back on Tuesday, that wouldn't have been that impressive of a win, considering Gloucester's record. I thought they were about to start for a second, but because I can't see, I don't have eyes in the back of my head. But for Sterling, if they want to win this game, they should win it by a lot, especially against this team that is 8-6. But with all that being said, we're at the half. We're just about to start, maybe a minute or two, as both teams are in their huddles before starting the second half. Still 40 more minutes to play here in Colonial Conference action. I'm Dan Wilkins. It's 2-0 Sterling, 40 minutes in out of 80. Well, Mr. Carter's taking his well-famous strut back to the scores table. It's the only reason why he watches this show.
Let's go, Green, let's go.
2-0 Sterling at the half as they'll bring this one back for 40 more minutes of play. Just a little update here. We just did talk to Mr. Carter at the half. We got word that, it's not Alan Calzalco, it's Joey Lomas who's the goalkeeper. Both seniors, but Joey Lomas, who was the backup goalie for Sterling last year, if he shuts out the Green Wave in this game, he will set a record for most consecutive shutouts in the state of New Jersey with 13 consecutive shutouts. So, holy cow, that is an impressive record. Remember, like I said, he was the backup goalie last year, and he was the backup goalie last year, and just never left his position after the main guy got hurt. So Lomas is now on the left side of the field. Perosi on the right side. Tyler Wiltsey closest to the ball. And we're back at it. In the second half, already out to Ryan Wolak, who brings it to Bannell. Oh, look at this back and forth action as it goes out. Wolak throws this in, as it'll immediately go out of bounds at the hands of Connor Bellotta. Thrown back in by Justin Maroney, out basically no man's land, but the only man that's even there is Justin Burr. Here comes the kick, a line drive out to Hayden Wiltsey. Here comes a strong kick over everybody. Almost got out of the park as Joey Lomas. I apologize for saying Alan Kaltzalko. I really thought it was him, but I couldn't read his jersey number on the far side of the field. So my apologies. It is Joey Lomas, the goalkeeper for Sterling. Somebody should have corrected me, honestly. Out towards Victor John, as Trent Bannell has to wait for a bounce as it'll go off of Rossell's extended foot. So we got some more back and forth action. Kevin Martin, a strong kick from Wolak, but unfortunately it's brought back over midfield and out of play, so it'll be kicked out. Thanks to Timmy Hall, and thrown in by the sophomore Terry Heron with that mop of hair that he's got for himself there. And here comes Maroney again, trying to bring it out to Wolak. Berkeley's got this one. As this one, oh, look at this. Moreland's got it. He'll try to get it off the backhand, and it gets in. A goal for Sterling, and it's 3-0 here very early in the second half. Well, what did I say about having to step up their game, you know? In a 2-0 lead like that, they couldn't take it easy, especially knowing that Audubon, you know, they've taken some comebacks before, and knowing Joey Lomas, he's been pretty good at what he does. So in order to even have a chance, you have to get yourself in a position where you end up making something work. 42-08 as this one's popped up. Back into play as this one's kicked. Gets past Wolak, gets into no man's land as this one will be forcibly kicked out. I mean, Berkeley ran Wolak into some trouble. Ran him into a lot of trouble. As this one popped up, and he'll be downed. That one was a bit of a soft fall there by Josh Moreland. We've seen some roster names for Gateway. I keep saying Gateway. It's the blue and white that doesn't for me. It's the Sterling Silver Knights. We've seen some names that haven't gotten a single minute of play yet, as this one will be out towards Camardo, and it'll be wide to the left on a parallel kick. We haven't seen Jadis McFadden play. We haven't seen, don't think we've seen any of Griffon Bliem. Haven't seen any of Ethan Rivitis, and I don't think we've seen much of Josh Garcia either, even if we've seen maybe a minute or two. But other than that, basically everyone's played for Gateway. And that's not like they're just putting in their reserves. It's that they're saving their best players for when they need it most. As this one will go off to the freshman Bannell. As it'll go back to Bannell. Back and forth, a little banter there. As this one will go out, and whoa! Justin Maroney kind of did a little Shaq moment there as it goes out again. About 44 minutes just starting the second half. Thrown in by Matthew Martin as Makai O'Kelly bounces this one out of play. Right back to Matthew Martin, who will throw this one in. to Berkeley, who bounces it backwards. As here comes some good deflection here from Bannell. It will stay in play. It'll stay in bounds. Bannell's got a good shot at this one. He's going to kick it right to Lomas on a little ground ball there. So easy play for Lomas. Again, apologies for saying Kaltzalko. I honestly did not know it was Lomas. As here comes a kick right back to Kelly as he's got some free range, and Kelly kicks this one out and into the construction zone. They were having a lot of construction over here. I don't know if you can see the bulldozers and the excavators to your right of the screen, but they had the entire street. I think it's Hampshire Street that it is. They had Hampshire Avenue. They had it all blocked off because of road work. And I had to walk across on newly poured asphalt. I had to avoid the newly poured asphalt and get it in. But you got to do what you got to do. Good thing I have rolling luggage now, not some 50-pound equipment bag. This one will be kicked from the corner. As, look at this, he got another one. A little alley-oop, if you will, and Sterling's got another one on the board, 4-0. Well, you know, Gloucester was on the receiving end of an emphatic beating back on Tuesday, and this is kind of the position that Audubon's in now, where, you know, you might still say, hey, with 45-41 against any other team, 4-0 would still be mathematically, feasibly possible. But against a team like Sterling with a guy that hasn't allowed a goal this season, I mean, come on. It's impossible. As down goes Broadhurst, he stays on his feet, 45-45. Still early in the first few minutes of the second half. As rebounding it and bringing it back into play is Timmy Hall. Kicked up on a little pop fly back to Hall and Ermel, who converge. A strong kick over everybody. And the whistle will be blown on that front. Probably the kick was a little too strong, maybe an illegal kick of sorts. I'm not a aficionado in soccer officiating rules, but that's what I can mostly presume. It's like icing in hockey. Can't serve the ball to or serve the puck to a different point. As, look at this. This one will go out to Maroney. And back to Wolak, who has a little knee side kick as it'll go back. Kelly's got it, and into my table. That counts as a save for my table. One for me, one for the table. Back to Victor John. Oh, look at this. A sliding kick by Ryan Wolak to kind of save face there. It'll go out back to Moreland. Cooper Bannell and Moreland converging. As here comes a parallel kick way off to the right, and it will go onto the gravel embankment. Brought back into play. I believe Trent Bannell will bring this over to Makayo Kelly. Kelly and Perosi right next to each other. Here comes a strong kick right towards midfield, over midfield. Terry Herron trying to play some good defense there, trying to get the ball back in Audubon's possession, as this will be a long roll from Sterling that will go out and to the left. This will be a kick from the corner. Looks like that is no, it's not Josh Moreland. Can't tell with the jersey, but oh, got some hard falls there. We got two players on the ground, and I think one's hurt possibly. Uh-oh. Yeah, Cooper Bannell's down. He's
Yeah, well, Simon's a good kid. You know, Matt plays.
That's not a good sign. I mean, they had some hard contact there as now they'll go out to help Bannell. I believe that's Bannell. Yeah, that is Cooper.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah, he was down. I think he might have just had a really hard collision. Maybe he had the wind knocked out of him. Apologies on that one. Clock was never stopped, so I have to wait like 30 seconds. Cooper might not, might have to be, he probably will be taken out of this game for a good extended period of time. I don't think he'll be coming back in. He's kind of limping on that right leg. Like I said, might have gotten the wind knocked out of him, might be more. Cooper Bannell missed some games earlier this year with a calf injury. Just going to about maybe a few weeks ago, he was back into action, and now he'll be back out of action. About 48 and a half minutes, still early in the second half. 4-0 Sterling, and Audubon still trailing in this one by a lot. So they'll take out Cooper. He'll get some assistance there from Mr. Carter, one of the scorers here for Audubon. And presumptively, they'll bring in, can't tell who they brought in as a result. I don't see any new faces. Maybe Clark or Hayden Wiltsey. Heron's still in. Tyler Wiltsey still in. Maybe that was Tyler Wiltsey. But they'll take Cooper to the sideline, and hopefully he's okay, as this will be a free kick on that behalf. We'll go back to Perosi. Not starting the clock for a little bit there because I accidentally overshot it a little bit. Back into the afternoon sky as it'll go off the head of Bannell and off to the left, and now he's got a save. And Wolak off towards the left side, rebounded. Over the head of Wolak and off to the right. That was also deflected by Sterling's cameraman. Well, they got two cameramen over there. They got a much more sophisticated production crew than we have. I'm just a one-man band. Let's look at this. Makayo Kelly taking initiative there, but the ball does go out. As now Justin Maroney will take this one. He'll throw this one in from the corner. This one's got a good shot, but Sterling doesn't get that opportunity right away, and instead it is blocked and kicked off to the right into no man's land, out of play. Now up to 50 minutes. That might not be entirely accurate. I forgot to do the disclaimer in the first half, but the time may not be entirely accurate since we're not at the scorer's table, and we can't manually adjust the clock. We can just start and stop it, but we do have it set to go to 80 minutes, so when it gets to 80 minutes, it will stop. So if the game's still going at 80 minutes, it's either tied or, what's it called? We maybe undershot it a little bit. But I kind of doubt that. I think it'll be the opposite like it was against Gloucester. We were about a minute and a half off on halftime as Trent Bannell takes this one for himself. He'll throw this one in over the head of Clark and back off of Victor John, off the head of Rossell, now off the head of everybody as it's taken off the chest of Bellotta, who's now going to use his footwork there to get that one out of bounds. Back into play, it'll be thrown back in by the senior Ryan Wolak. Good little knuckleball throw, if you will, as this one's taken in the air, back to midfield, patted down and batted down by Makayo Kelly. This one's over the middle to the right side, and Kelly's going to keep this one in the air. Broadhurst is going to keep this in the air. It's just not hitting the ground. Until now, that is now Sterling, again with their possession, as that one's a powerful kick over to the left side, way out of play. Way, way, way out of play. I don't know why the clock stopped. Is it stopped? No, it's still going. Might have to reset the clock, that's all. I mean, I wouldn't have to reset it just on On the software that we use OBS Studio to broadcast these games to YouTube. And to make these graphics possible, we use GIMP, which is basically free Photoshop. Over to Rosell, and Wolak keeps this one in play. I'll adjust the clock after there might not be a ball in my camera. As now Makayo Kelly can't get this one, and it will roll out of play. All right, let's reset that clock, shall we? All right, there we go. Fix the clock. I don't know what exactly happened there, but my apologies. 52-30. Here comes the throw in. Clark bats it off his head. Now he bats it off his left foot there and off of the calf. And that one will be saved on a line drive by Perosi. Perosi now looks for a man to throw to. Actually, instead, he'll kick this one well over midfield. And it'll go off the head of Wiltsey, but it will roll backwards as Joey Lomas takes this one. It's looking increasingly likely that he'll get that 13th straight shutout, which is a New Jersey record for any level of high school soccer. This one's batted off of Bellata. Oh, look at this. Ball gets stopped in its tracks, like it put on the emergency brake. Now off to Clark. And some little double kicks there and some light feather kicks. Just keeping the ball to themselves, making sure that Audubon doesn't get it in their possession. Passing it from man to man to man. As this one will go right to Perosi on 2 hops. But instead, oh, you're kidding. That was so close to being a goal. But Audubon blocks it. Perosi had it, and then look who's coming in from the left. It's the man of the hour, Josh Camardo. What a game for Camardo, as he almost got another goal there, but instead, Audubon's defense is able to trap that one. As some more substitutions for Sterling will roll in, you're watching Dan Wilkins Broadcasting coverage of Colonial Conference soccer between the Sterling Silver Knights and the Audubon Green Wave. If you're just joining us, 54 minutes in approximately. The sun's starting to pop out here at around 5 p.m. As, look at Perosi, falls down, but he still makes the save. As now, he took a little bit of a slower time getting up. Hopefully he's okay. As he'll just have a slow roller to Wolak. Won't bring this one anywhere close to midfield. But instead, Bannell over to Wolak. Some contact there. Back and forth with Byrne. Now Byrne and Kelly. He brings it past Kelly, way past Kelly, and onto the gravel embankment. Makayo Kelly will take this one. Probably going to kick it over to middle. They're about evenly matched between Sterling defenders and Audubon defenders. It'll go over to middle again, past midfield, but Sterling's going to get this one. Here comes a strong kick from Hall. Back towards Kelly. He deflects it off his knee, off his shin. There's now some more conflict. Broadhurst trying to take this one for himself. Instead, Garcia will assist this one back to Sean Brandley. And now on the far side of the field, Hayden Wiltsey taking initiative. Ryan Clark trying to keep this one in play. Tyler Wiltsey off to the right, but instead Timmy Hall's got this one again. It'll go out towards Miss Morrison and Mr. Tomasetti. The coaching staff, at least partially, for Audubon. Big thanks to Tomasetti, Morrison, and everybody involved with the Audubon Soccer Organization to allow me to do these games, part of a passion, as Joey Lomas takes that one again. Here comes a strong kick. I hope he plays kicker in some sort of capacity in football, because he's got an absolute cannon of a leg. Brings that one well past midfield, and thanks to a few lucky rebounds, that one gets out of play. Damian Broadhurst kicks this from the red curved line back over towards the middle. Garcia and Heron converge. Wiltsey's got this one, and instead it'll be Broadhurst over towards the far side corner, and it'll go out. From the corner again, it'll be rolled back to Kelly, as Casey Cameron will be coming in for Audubon, and it looks like Trent Bannell will be coming out as he gets some high fives from Wiltsey, from Rosell. Everybody acknowledges that, Trent Bannell is something really special as a freshman, scoring over 10 goals in his rookie season, as this one's over to middle. This one's back over to middle again, back and forth for Sterling. Ooh, down to one knee goes Braden Sheehan. But instead, Clark will pass this one off to the right. Well, the referee will follow this one, and it'll be taken out of play for Timmy Hall down near the corner. Now Justin Burr brings this one back in. Hall with a defensive kick that's popped over towards the center of the field. Getting some more high-flying action as Bellotta takes it out of the hands of Sheehan, as it'll go back to Ethan Revitis. That's not Ethan Revitis, that's Robbie Toomey, the sophomore. I read 21 and I thought it was 22 for a sec, or the other way around. Perosi kicks this one high over to middle, past midfield over towards the other side of that yellow circle that encompasses most of midfield there. As now here comes a high kick here. This might be setting up for some tough defense from Audubon, as Casey Cameron rolling this one over and back to Sheehan, as we got a bumblebee trying to attack me here. And this one's going to be taken on 2 hops. And Toomey keeps this one back in play. Back over to middle. Off the head of Burr. Wiltsey. Wolak thought he had a chance, but instead he runs right past it and it goes out. And they'll have a substitution for Audubon. Blaise LaFrance coming in, Ryan Clark, the senior, coming out. And in fact, I think Hayden Wiltsey's not coming out, but he'll move from the left side to the right side of the field, as Wolak will throw this one in. 59-38 approximately, as this one will go over towards the corner and almost immediately out of play. Still swap out balls here. In fact, Terry Heron's coming in. I think Wolak might be either coming out or changing positions in his own right, as they'll actually set up for a penalty kick here. I think. They were looking like they were going to set up for one. But instead, no, they'll just line it up on a corner throw here from the senior Broadhurst. And Lomas with high-flying action again. He's just an acrobatic machine, the senior Lomas. Absolutely incredible. Here comes a high kick. Past the yellow circle, past that blue line that encompasses another side of the field here, as a kick off to the left by Devin Byrne gets nowhere. As Tyler Wiltsey coming out. One freshman out, one freshman in. R.J. Homa, originally starting for junior varsity. He doesn't have a varsity jersey, but he's getting some more playing time along with LaFrance. And, of course, Terry Heron as well, who we've seen kind of mixed playing time from. He's sometimes in, sometimes out. He's not really a reserve. He's just kind of there when they need him. You know, he plays a very specific role in being a very good defender. He's not going to kick the ball very far, but he's at least going to, prevent the ball from getting into the opposing team's hands. This one will roll. Oh, I thought it would roll out, but instead a sliding kick there. Believe that is from Sean Brandley, who gets that one in. Justin Burr will kick this one over towards, look at this. R.J. Homa taking initiative here, taking the final stand. Homa again over to Wiltsey, and it's once again taken by Joey Lomas. I think it's very apparent that we're going to see some history here as still 30 minutes left, still 30 minutes for anything to change, or 20 minutes for anything to change. Don't know why I was thinking 90 minutes, but we're at 80 as John Perozzi picks this one up. Just 18 minutes to go for Joey Lomas for him to secure that 13th straight shutout, which will be a New Jersey soccer record for the boys varsity. Over the middle, high kick by Perozzi. LaFrance almost had it, but instead it's picked up by Jimmy Zingaro. Back, and this one will roll out of play towards the Sterling broadcast crew. Zingaro, the senior, will throw this one. He'll kind of run it up to start as now Garcia misses an opportunity there as Homa, look at this. Homa almost had it, but instead he takes a different position. Now he's going to try to head back towards midfield as Sterling still has the ball in their possession. They've had it for a good while today. Even though they have 4 points on the board, they've been in control of the ball in and out, through and through. Here comes a kick back over towards Garcia there. As here comes a pop-up kick. Oh, Perozzi with a hard collision, and he comes down with the ball. He keeps it rolling for himself. Maybe he's a little shaken up, but how about that? We saw Joey Lomas get some air. How about Perozzi getting some air? Over the middle, and this one will roll out of play with no effort for anybody to get that one, except for the, looks like that's the Sterling head coach over there. That'll be Pete Marlis, the guy who's led this team to a 12-0-1 record, although I'm not the kind to blame or praise the head coach or manager a lot of the times, because these are the players that make it work. The manager is the one that calls the plays and, maybe makes it happen in sense of putting everybody in their place. But the players are the ones that score the goals. The players are the ones that bring this game to light. Let's look at Heron showing off that defense again. We said he's a very specific role player. You're not going to see him score many goals. I mean, he's quite literally listed as backfield, on this side here. As here comes Broadhurst. Oh, he crosses up to me there a little bit. As Casey Cameron again got crossed up. Not everybody's, on their highest level of efficiency, I guess. But Cooper Bannell's back in the game. The injury must have not been as bad as I had feared. Goes over the head of Kelly. Cooper Bannell with some contact there with the junior Garcia. Here comes a kick from Kelly. Off the head of Toomey. Now over towards Cameron. And here comes the kick from Wiltsey. No, it'll go to Bannell. Homa trying to take some aggressive defense, and so is LaFrance, but Terry Heron brings this one out of play over towards Marlis. Oh, look at this. Connor Bellotto. Some great speed there, and it will go out of play. So Anthony Garcia will pass this one to Wolak as it will go on a quick hop and almost immediately out of play again. Wolak throws it on a short hop to Wiltsey. Wiltsey to Bellotto. Bellotto trying to make something work here as now he'll just take it for himself. He gets in some conflict here with Toomey, and it gets out of play as it was almost brought back in by Caleb Evans, the junior midfielder Evans, but Whistle is blown, and it is declared out of play as it'll go from the corner. Damian Broadhurst, the senior, will kick this one. He spins the ball around a little bit for himself. Here comes the throw. It's in. It's a little shallow. Goes off to no man's land as here comes Wallach with an aggressive kick right into what I would call the Great Wall of China. That is a great, great defense there, as now Perosi will bring this one to Makai O'Kelly. Now Perosi's got to get back to the goalkeeping spot because Sterling has the ball again. That's the third time I've said Gateway. Don't know why. I got to get it out of my system. But Terry Heron blocking Garcia from really getting anywhere with that, as Broadhurst, who threw it in about 30 seconds ago, now brings it over to Homa. Homa now to Cameron. Cameron, Bellata, look at this. He's going to get some good footwork on it. He's going to slow the ball down, and he will keep it right on the yellow line. How precise. He's got some great footwork. This is like the team MVP right here. As he keeps it inbounds again, I don't know how he does it. I mean, that's incredible what he does right there. Down 4-0, it doesn't matter. Here comes some aggressive defense from Ryan Wallach and Casey Cameron, who's going to try to bring this one back over past Kelly. Bandel deflects it off his chest. Kelly. Back to Damian Broadhurst. Broadhurst brings it over to LaFrance, and LaFrance, as that one's going to be some great defense there. Back over the middle and in the no man's land. Just about 68 minutes. As this game still in its closing stages, but still some time for either Sterling to extend their lead or for Audubon to maybe get their act together and get a goal or two in the last couple of minutes. However, knowing what we said about Joey Lomas, what we had learned at halftime, thanks to Mr. Carter, well, statistically, not in the favor of the Green Wave. Here comes a strong kick. Just a little short, right at midfield. Cameron and Byrne kind of have a little collision there, as now Broadhurst will have to work on his passing to get that one over to Heron and eventually to Bannell. Back to Broadhurst. He almost missed the ball there, but he keeps it in his possession, not for now, though, and not for long, as Braden Sheehan, Wiltsey, and now we got a whistle. Ryan Wallach will kick this one in a penalty kick formation. He'll try to find a hole, and it'll go off to the left side. So doesn't get anywhere with that one, and it goes right through the gate opening. What are the odds of that? Don't get it in the goalpost, but get it in that tiny little maybe 1 foot gap. Maybe 2 feet. Hard to tell from that distance, but 70 minutes, about 10 to go. Here from Green Wave Park. Sterling Silver Knights 4, Audubon Green Wave 0. It's been a dominant performance for the Silver Knights. Here comes a kick over the middle. Heron's going to deflect it off his head, and now Homa trying to take initiative here. His footwork probably as a freshman, still needs a little bit of work, but now Homa back over the middle. And look at this. Here comes a kick. They're going to try to bring it out of play, but they keep it in. Now Sheehan. Over towards the left side and over towards the scorer's table. Sarah Colon brings that one to a halt. About 71 minutes is... We got the sun right in our camera, so it's making this weird glare. But at least you got some light here, as that one's way off to the right side and out of play. Makai O'Kelly will kick this one. I'm trying to make the light a little bit more favorable for everybody here. Let's just get the ball over towards Lomas so we can have a little better light, you know. Maybe get a goal, but who knows? Here comes a strong kick from Bannell. He's still got it. Over towards Clark, who takes it on a bounce. Going to really get some aggressive footwork in here as Wiltsey with the teal cleats will now bring this one back into Sterling's possession and back towards Garcia. Look at this little spin around. Broadhurst, ooh, a sliding kick there. This time from Zingaro. And now over towards the left side, they're going to let it roll. Actually, no, they're going to keep it in play, but it will go out. Broadhurst heaves this one back in. Wiltsey trying to outrun him, but instead it will be popped up in the air back towards Rossell. Back towards Wolak. Cameron at the yellow line. Goes through the legs of Caleb Evans and back to Justin Burr. Bannell over towards Sheehan. And this one's deflected, and down to his knees goes Heron. No whistle blown. Here comes a kick that's kind of bicycled in the air, if you will, as Bannell's trying to prevent this one from making it 5-zip. You need to get it out of there, need to get it back in your possession, but a strong kick there from Sterling will go off to the right, thanks to Caleb Evans' efforts, but Perosi blocks this one. Not a really shot on goal, as it was pretty far off to the right, but Perosi will kick this one way up there. It'll come back down to earth on a bounce. Devin Byrne brings it down to Robbie Toomey. And it'll be over towards the right side. I'll leave it down there. Here comes the throw in. Clark's going to bounce this one off his head. Back to Kelly, and Perosi saves this one. Here comes the kick back over to middle. And whistle blown. I think they're going to... they're going to form penalty kick lines here. Ryan Wolak from inside the yellow circle from where the ball was declared dead after the whistle. Everybody lines up here in their different factions as this one he's going to try to find a hole, and it gets bounced off the head. Lomas, going to take another save. He's just been getting save after save after save. This one's over to middle. Out towards the left side. Taken by Kevin Martin, the senior. And it's off to the right. Just couldn't get it. But honestly, up 4-0 like this, I think the only thing you'd be worried about at this point is goal differential. But that will be the only blemish. 2 goals in the first half for Sterling, 2 in the second half. But all in all, it creates a 4-0 game as Joey Lomas again going for his 13th straight shutout as Sterling's goalkeeper. This one's up in the air over towards Cameron. It will bounce, and it will bounce out of play. So this one will be thrown back in by Devin Byrne. Actually, no, he'll just drop this one and bring it to Zingaro. Zingaro looks for a man to throw to. Audubon and Sterling about evenly placed. As now Byrne kicks this one back over to middle. Burr pops this one up. Oh, some hard contact there between Damian Broadhurst, as this will go back over towards Victor John. Sterling trying to keep this ball in their possession, but Audubon does so first as Terry Herron, the sophomore, brings this one all the way over to the freshman Wiltsey. He's on his toes. Lomas will not even have a play at this one as he'll go back with the ball in their possession again. Look out! Oh, that will roll out. Just went right out of there. As Mr. Herron, Terry's dad, picks that one up. As they'll go out, and down on the ground is Bellata. He's got his hands up in arms. In despair, if you will. I don't know if he was looking for a card or a penalty or something. But whatever it was that he was looking for, he didn't get it. But with about 2.5 minutes left, and not much you can do. Not some sort of miraculous kind of goal here. As look at this, Bantle. Rossell and Sheehan going back and forth at it. Perosi picks it up on a bounce, as the sun is right there. Going off towards the right side is Anthony Garcia. And that'll do it. So we were actually about 2 minutes off on that one, but all right. Sterling takes this one home, and there is your record. Joey Lomas takes the New Jersey all-time record for consecutive shutouts as a goalkeeper with 13. What a game by Lomas. What a game by the Sterling Silver Knights, as Audubon gets shut out in this one. Silver Knights 4, Audubon 0. Oh boy. Well, that's a final from today here in Audubon. It's Sterling that shuts out Audubon 4-0 the final. Joey Lomas setting a all-time New Jersey high school record. Thank you. For most consecutive games with a shutout as a goalkeeper. Remember that record being 13 consecutive games. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. You know, even though I attend Audubon High School, even though I broadcast for Audubon on the behalf of Audubon, you know, I can be a homer all I want. I can, you know, be as biased towards the Green Wave as I want. But in all fairness, this is a team that's absolutely impressive. In the Colonial Conference, they are absolutely unstoppable. They're undefeated. Only one tie is holding them back. And that's what you can say the same about for West Deptford. They're also undefeated. And Audubon has another game against West Deptford. I believe it's in West Deptford, if I'm not mistaken, later on this month. But the last home game for Audubon, it's on the 25th against Haddon Heights. We still have 3 more home games left in the 2021 boys varsity soccer season. So from Colonial Conference action, it's 4-0 Sterling in the final here. This is Dan Wilkins of Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. We'll see you around next time for more Colonial Conference action in boys varsity soccer.
Great job, buddy.
Hey, thank you.
Well done.
Oh, I'm sorry. The game just ended. Well, I think that didn't work, right? Alright, well, take your time. I'm still packing up my stuff. The game literally, just ended, so I did my post-game and everything. I'll be shutting down while you're on your way here. It worked fine. I had precisely 0 dropped frames instead of 75%. Alright, thank you. Oh, wait, before you hang up, are you still there? There is some construction on Okay, I was just letting you know. The parking lot seems full, so it seems to not be an issue now, but I'm just letting you know for future reference. All right, see you later. Bye-bye.